Eurovision 2019 semi-final 2 predictions. Welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. So Clive and I are back to talk about the second semi-final, having put our, well, not our lives on the line, but our reputations as Eurovision experts on the line for semi-final 1. Please do subscribe by clicking on the button below, also that notification bell, and to please comment, like, and share with your friends. So we've done the same for semi-final as we did for semi-final 1. We've looked through all of the countries in semi-final 2, decided what we think is most likely to qualify, which is not necessarily who we like the most.
Absolutely not. No.
And I think that's very clear in some of the songs in here.
Yeah.
And we'll sort of talk those through. Before we do, let's give you the list of the second semi-final songs. So, performing in the first half of the second semi-final, we will have Armenia, Ireland, Moldova, Switzerland, Latvia, Romania, Denmark, Sweden, and Austria.
And in the second half, we have Croatia, Malta, Lithuania, Russia, Albania, Norway, the Netherlands, North Macedonia, and closing with Azerbaijan.
Glad you got Azerbaijan right.
I just about got that out.
Well done.
I was struggling on a couple of those, but we got there in the end.
I tell you, we don't want any Linda Woodruff Azerbaijan Baku this time. So actually, we've actually come up with mostly agrees.
We have,
as it turns out.
Again, not what we want, but what we think.
So, to go through the countries that we think are going to qualify, we have Switzerland, Romania, Sweden, Malta, Russia, Norway, Netherlands, North Macedonia, and Azerbaijan. So we'll have a look at each of those, have a quick chat about each of them. Switzerland, which performs in one of the worst bits of the running order, actually, but it's one of the big pre-contest favourites. It's I don't want to say Fuego 2.0 because that's what everyone else says, but it is kind of one of those kind of party banger songs.
Yes.
It's got a very attractive young man singing it.
Yes.
It's very un-Swiss. This isn't the sort of song we normally get from Switzerland. I think, I'm not sure it's going to do quite as well as people think it will, but there's no chance it's not going to the final.
No, I think it's going to sell through. Again, good looking man, great song. Kind of a bit of a Ricky Martin's thing to it. It's great. It's going to go through. No problem.
Probably, I suspect it might even be top 10 for Switzerland in the final,
so.
But we will see.
Better than the last few years, that's for sure.
No, it can't be much worse.
No, true.
Second one, and this is one that I don't think either of you would have chosen to put through, but we think it will go through, is Romania on a Sunday. I'm not going to get into all the controversy around the Romanian national selection. Yes. But regardless of that, I think they will be in the final on the Saturday. I think they have a really big. Romania have a very, very good qualification record, even with what I thought was a pretty mediocre song last year. They still finished, I think, 11th. They only just missed out on qualifying. I think they finished 11th or 12th, so they weren't very far off qualifying last year with a mediocre song. This has got a lot of kind of quite expensive. There's a lot of expense gone into this. They're spending a lot on staging. There's a lot of pyro,
Right.
etc. Yeah. So I think this will go through.
Okay. I mean, again, it's not one of my favourites, but I think I agree. It's kind of borderline, but because of who's on the televote that night, etc., I think it's going to go through.
Yes, Moldova are voting in that group, so they will. That's 24 points already for Romania, or certainly 12 points in televote. Next, we have Sweden, superpower Sweden, with John Lundvik, Too Late for Love. I think there's absolutely zero chance of this not going through. I think this is. I think you've got to look out for another Swedish win overall. I think this could come through both jury and televote on the night.
I agree.
Whether people like that or not. I know my Sweden video got a few quite negative comments from Swedes, but
where did you put it?
11th, but it was more about that they didn't like it.
Okay.
Whereas I obviously had it quite high. But yeah, no, easily through.
No, I agree. I mean, he's a great singer, lovely guy. I bumped into him outside the toilet at London Eurovision, as you do. Yes, I said to him, great song, but why is the song you wrote for us not quite as good? But there you go. But no, it's going to sell through, definitely.
Malta Lovely Malta. I like Malta a lot. And I think they've got a really good song this year, and the staging is good. It's really modern. I think this is a dark horse. Yeah. And juries, as it turns out, I did some research, juries really like Malta, even when they've had far worse songs than this. This is a really good song, so I can't see this but not go through.
Again, I agree. I mean, it snuck up on me, this one. It wasn't there at the start for me, but now I think it's an amazing song. It's a great banger. It's great.
Really good song, I think. Yeah. This is a dark horse, I think. You know, people have been talking about Cyprus and Switzerland, and then these kind of big dance banger songs. I think Malta's the one actually to watch out of those three on the night. We'll see. Russia, Sergei Lazarev going through. Obviously, I don't even know how much to comment on it, because it's got a gargantuan televote from because Sergei Lazarev has a big fan base. I mean, it's probably not quite as televoter friendly as You're the Only One. It's probably more jury friendly. Staging is looking expensive, but not kind of blow away. But no chance it won't go through.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. As a song, I go back to the first time I heard it, and I was just disappointed. And I've tried to listen to it over and over to try and bring it forward. It's still not a great song, but it's all going to be about how it looks on the night and how he looks on the night, which I'm sure any time of day he looks great. So it's going to go.
Well, I think in the staging that I've seen, it looks like he's taken an emotional shower. So both figuratively and literally. But yes. On to Norway, as we both agreed, and I think obviously I like Norway. I love Norway. It is, as I said in my Norway video, I think it could be this year's fan, and the word rhyming with bank. So we're not allowed to swear on you. It's. I really hope this goes through. I think it will. They've got. I don't know what you feel. It's like there's that risk that it could be another Lost in Verona.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think it's so good, and it's so Saturday night. It needs to be there on a Saturday night. I guess the danger is that it's perhaps 2 Eurovision and 10 years ago, but I love it. It needs to go through.
I think they're pretty good vocally. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a fear that the juries might not bother with this one, and I don't know. I think it will. I think it will, and I really hope so. Let's fingers crossed on that one. Yeah. Then we have Netherlands, the huge favourites, the big favourite. It will go through. No chance that won't go through. They're still working on the staging. To be honest, at the moment, I haven't seen this. We're recording this after the first rehearsals, but before they've done the second rehearsals for the second semi-final. So. At the time of recording this, it's difficult to say kind of how they're going to do the camera angles and stuff. But the quality of the song will send us through, regardless of what they do with the staging, I think. But
it's the big favourite. It's going to go through.
And there's a reason. And there's a reason it's been the favourite. So.
Great performer.
To my endless pleasure, North Macedonia is on our list. Finally. They've got their staging right. It's looking. I've seen the first rehearsal. It's looking good because they've had great songs the last couple of years, and then it's just gone horribly wrong when it's reached the Eurovision stage. Right. Okay. Not this year. It's looking really good. She's sounding great. She's looking professional.
Again, it's one of those songs that sneaks up on you. It's a great ballad. It's very emotive. It's very now. It's very the me now movement kind of thing. It's brilliant. It's great. It's going to go through.
And finally, in our certain ones, that's 9 certain ones we have, is Azerbaijan. Now this I was almost certain was going to go through anyway.
Yep.
It's a big dancey song, big catchy chorus, and it has those kind of Azeri sounds in it, so it's very identifiable that it's from Azerbaijan or from that part of the world, rather than just being another pop song that could be from anywhere. But the first rehearsal went very, very well. It's got some really impressive kind of staging. His vocals sounded good. His backing vocals are sounding vocalists are sounding good as well. It's now shot up into the top 5 in the betting at the time of recording this. I don't know whether it'll actually do quite as well as that, but it's certain to qualify.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good song. It's very well produced. It's very great vocals. So I mean, it's going to go.
Yeah, I don't know why people were sleeping on this one because I think people liked it but weren't going. Oh yeah, it's. I don't know why they were sleeping on this because
I think it's because he doesn't look quite as good in the swimming tank as the guy from the Netherlands.
That's
so
maybe,
kind of comparisons, but we'll get there.
I think Azerbaijan, why I think they lost their 100% qualification record last year, but they came 11th. So I think they're definitely out to prove that they're where they want to be back in. So that's who will definitely go through. Who will not go through is a cluster here. So sadly, Ireland isn't going to go through. I think it's quite a catchy song. It's quite different, but it's not in a good place running order. Her live vocal hasn't yet caught fire, I would say. So I think, and certainly in the bookies, she's. Ireland are not looking too hot to go through at the moment.
I love the song. I think she's a lovely lady. I think it's a shame, but at the moment it's not coming together as a package. So who knows? But
it always change.
Yeah.
Moldova, they might have Romania in the semi-final, but that is not going to send them through. They've got. I mean, it's a classic, kind of a big, very Eurovision classic ballad. Big key change, all those kind of dramatic moments. But it could have been in Eurovision like 15 years ago.
I was going to say, had she gone in 15 years ago, she should have stormed. Yeah, but I love the song. I think it's very emotive, and
they've wheeled in the sand artists again as well. Although, bit of controversy there, but I'm not quite sure that's necessarily going to help. Latvia, it's a very kind of. I don't know, Latvia song, it's kind of very smooth and gentle, but it's kind of 3 minutes that you wouldn't necessarily remember afterwards, I think.
Exactly. And I can't forgive them for beating Marcus Reaver. He got the audience vote, but they won the jury, and that's how they got through. So, sorry.
And we like Marcus. He's tried so many times to represent Latvia, and he had a really good chance this year, and they still didn't send him through.
Next year.
Yes, now here's a slightly surprising one because this has been one that's been one I've ummed and ahmed about. Is Denmark "Love Is Forever"? It's a catchy song. Now I thought this was going to be amongst our ones that we weren't sure. But I think we've both put this in as not qualifying. I think it is a very catchy, very sweet, perhaps sickly sweet in my view, song. It's very radio. I think it's very Spotify friendly.
Yeah.
But then I think I'm not entirely sure it works necessarily visually.
I think visually, from what I've seen in the performances, it sticks out with the whole sitting on the big ledge and the blue sky behind. It looks beautiful, but I don't know. I think it's perhaps just not of the time and not. Yeah. I don't know.
I think with Denmark, this is where we have a thing with Denmark is it's not that we don't think it's worthy of qualifying or there's reasons. I think we have 9 other songs.
Really strong semi-final.
We have 9 other songs that we are, or certainly. I mean, you could. Yeah, you have 8 or 9 songs that that are so certain to go through. Of course, I wouldn't be mind being proved wrong. Then you sort of go, it's finding that. Well, how does Denmark find a route through that when it's up against the 1 or 2 other songs that are likely to get through? And then when you look into things like jury vote, diaspora voting in particular, or neighbour voting, and Denmark might have Sweden and Norway, but they're not as reliable as some of the other countries' kind of diasporas and neighbours. So, that's probably why Denmark is probably not going through. Also not going through is something very recent. There was Austria with Panda. I pronounced it Payenda or something incorrect in my rankings. Kind of, it's Panda apparently, but I think this one's.
It's a bit of a great singer, but it just as a song,
she's lovely,
it doesn't
apparently.
stick.
Well, she is. We saw it.
Yes, we met
she's
her.
Lovely, lovely lady.
Nice,
but
great blue drinks. I mean, beautiful.
But I just don't see this one going through. It may pick up some jury points, but I mean, maybe the staging will come together in a way that I haven't seen so far, but not at the moment. Another one, well. I do wonder whether this is a prediction or possibly a hope as well, because I'm still feeling burnt by Jack Hudek from a couple of years ago. This is Croatia with the Dream. If you thought that the staging for the Croatian national final was ludicrous and camp, just wait till you see the actual Eurovision staging because it's even more ludicrous, which is not exactly what I expected.
You can't go wrong with angel wings, you know.
Oh, I au contraire.
You can go straight from that from Tel Aviv Pride and look fine, you know, it'll just fit in perfectly.
As long as he doesn't go near any naked flames. I think his voice is quite, you know, one is really powerful. It's just pity it's not being used on a song that I think actually is worthy of it. But at the moment, I think that one is not going through. And finally, the last one, and this I think is a shame because I quite like this song, but having seen it's just not generated a lot of enthusiasm, and also seeing the staging for it in the rehearsal again, it's kind of ooh, that's not elevating it at all. It's Lithuania with Run with the Lions, Urius, it's you know, a male pop ballad, and you'd think maybe there's something that Lithuania can do to bring it to life a bit more in the staging, but from the rehearsal, it's just literally him and a bit of an LED backdrop, but it's not doing anything exciting. Maybe there'll be something shown in the second rehearsal that we haven't seen yet. But I think even though the Lithuanian diaspora is pretty well organised, and UK, Ireland, Norway, and actually Latvia, there's a number of countries that would vote for Lithuania, and they still do. They may still well do. But I don't think this is going to run with the juries. Run with the Lions, not with the juries.
I think, you know, you've got so many big guns in this semi-final, and that song just isn't strong enough. It's a good song, but it's not a great song. It's not going to stand out.
First semi-final, it might have been more of a chance, but not this one.
Mm.
So it leaves us with only two to choose from, really, what we're going to send through, and they're both countries with they. Armenia and Albania. Now I think Albania's Albania's Janida Milici. I'm getting the opportunity to correct all my mispronunciations in my rankings videos because I think I called her Maliki or Milici. She has a quite outstanding vocal.
It's a vocal powerhouse, really. It's pretty impressive.
But there's two reasons why I don't think I'm worried about this one, is because they haven't quite got the staging quite right yet. And secondly, and this is probably the bigger reason, is that they are sat in that group of all these qualifiers that are going through. So in that latter part of the second semi-final, you've got Russia, Norway, Netherlands, North Macedonia, Azerbaijan, all of which we're sure are going to go through. It just seems unlikely to have six out of six qualifiers for the last 6 songs. It's not inconceivable, but I think it's less likely.
One victim of that lot, I guess.
And which is why Armenia, which is opening the show, I think is possibly the stronger one to go through. Possibly.
Yeah.
Her vocal's been okay as well, and it's good. I don't think Armenia have hit the heights that they often do in staging yet with it, but I just think if I was going to put my money...
I think I have to agree with you. I mean, initially I was thinking of Albania, but I think Armenia, that they're opening up. It's quite a strong song to start with.
They've got a strong qualification record. I mean, they're not going to get any votes from Azerbaijan, but they will get votes from Russia and various other countries, I think. But
okay,
I think in some ways I'd rather put Albania in and Armenia out. But I think if we are going with our heads, not our hearts,
not what we want,
I'm going to put Armenia into the going through and Albania into the going out. So, which means, for the second semi-final, our predictions are, going through to the final will be Switzerland, Romania, Sweden, Malta, Russia, Norway, the Netherlands, North Macedonia, Azerbaijan and Armenia. And going home are Ireland, Moldova, Latvia, Denmark, Austria, Croatia, Lithuania and Albania. You know what this... I also just occurs to me, this means that we haven't put any Baltic countries through, which does happen sometimes, but I think that would be interesting. We shall see whether that happens or not. So, obviously, please do comment, see what you think. Obviously, you will come back in a couple of days and see just how wrong we were. And I mean, in some ways, I would quite like to be wrong on some of these, but it will be interesting to see. And I say thank you very much for Clive for joining for these predictions. And hopefully we'll see you again for future videos, and hope to see you again soon on Matt Loves Eurovision. So take care and enjoy the shows.